Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another session of the State Spotlight series by Education USA. And we have four wonderful speakers today who are US university experts and who are going to be talking to you about the state of New York. And before we begin, let me quickly introduce you to Education USA. So Education USA is supported by the US State Department. It is a global network, and our mandate is to offer accurate, comprehensive, and current information on US higher education. We have a global presence of more than 400 centers across 175 plus countries. And Education USA India is based in New Delhi with an advisor in Mumbai as well. And just some ways in which you can stay connected with us. So you can scan this QR code or follow us on our social media pages just to stay updated on the events and sessions that we do. So we do a lot of webinars and some in-person sessions as well with US university experts like the session that you're attending today. So please feel free to follow us on social media or to sign up on our website where you can stay updated on the events and sessions that we're doing. Okay, just to quickly take you all through the agenda. So, because this is about the state of New York, and we have some amazing presenters who are going to tell you a lot more in detail about what the state of New York actually offers. So, you're going to hear about that, and then our experts will be talking about the state's advantages, the academic experience, and talk a lot about the collaboration and the research and innovation that's going on in the US at this point of time, and this will be followed by some information on what the universities individually offer, and this will be followed lastly by a quick round of question and answers. So please feel free to post your questions in the chat box, and I'd request you all to keep your mic on mute, so that you have the best experience, and also do post questions that are relevant to today's session. So now I'll introduce you all to our amazing speakers for today. So we have Pallavi Sharma from University at Buffalo, SUNY Buffalo, and she's the International Admissions Officer over there. We have Benjamin Dobbs, who's the Director of International Admissions at Stony Brook University, along with Jasmeet from Stony Brook University as well. And then we have Supriya Nayak, who's also who's representing. Okay, just a second. Yeah, so who's going to be talking about? Let me just remove this so you can see Supriya's screen as well. So that's a photo, and she is representing NYU Tandon School of Engineering. And with this, I'll hand it over to our first speaker for today, Pallavi, and yeah, she's going to take you through all the information on the state of New York. So, Pallavi, over to you.
Thank you, Eliza. Good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Pallavi Sharma, and I work with the international admissions team at the University at Buffalo. So today I'm going to talk about the New York State in fairly quick time, focusing on what matters most to you as international students or family of the international students. So it is New York is about 20 million people, and that's actually the fourth most populous state in America. And here's something exciting. It hosts over 135,000 international students in the state, making it the second highest in the entire United States. That means you will have a huge community from all over the world. Why does it matter? Of course, because New York isn't just a place to study, it's also where the global opportunities happen. Alexa, can we move to the next slide, please? All right. So we'll talk quickly about where New York is and why is the location so perfect for the international students. So New York is the only state that touches both the Atlantic Ocean and the Great Lakes. It borders 5 states and 2 Canadian provinces. And of course, where Buffalo is, we also share our borders with Toronto, Canada. We'll come to that later. This means there is an incredible travel opportunity for the international students or people in New York. You can visit Boston, you can visit Philadelphia, DC, Washington, DC, or even Montreal over the weekends. Our students from Buffalo, they really move just across the bridge to be in Toronto over the weekends, only if they have Canadian visa. So, quick history. So, in 1621, the Dutch established this place and they called it Dutch colony or New Netherlands. The English took over in 1664 and they named it New York. So, it became a state later in 1788, and the Erie Canal in 1825 made it the America's economic gateway. So George Washington actually called it the seed of empire in 1785, and it still lives up to the name today with the nickname of Empire State. That's how we got this name, Empire State, for New York. Can we move to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right, so let's talk about some cultural legacy and what do we have to offer in this state. So, do we know where the hip hop culture was born? Well, in 1973, it was born in Bronx, New York, and Broadway has 41 professional theaters in the state. If you love performing arts, if you love doing this area of work or just a hobby, this is it. Between 1892 and 1954, 12 million immigrants came through Ellis Island looking for the American dream. So, over 200 museums, including the Met, the MoMA, and the Guggenheim, many student, many of these museums actually offer a lot of student discounts as well, or sometimes a free admission days as well to these theaters. At the events, Times Square, I think that's the most popular place for all the people across the world. But do you know that the New Year's Eve is the most popular event at the Times Square? And over 1 million people actually come over there to celebrate the New Year's. The NYC Marathon is another very popular event, and Macy's Thanksgiving Parade with 3.5 million spectators is another very popular event. One of my favorite events is the US Open tennis tournament because I love tennis. So as a student here, all of this becomes your part of life. So not just something that you see on Instagram, but also what you actually experience on the ground. Eliza, could you move to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right, so this is a very crucial slide for you and to know about the career in New York. Let me tell you about studying in New York, how it opens the doors globally for you. So there are 6 major industries that dominate here. So in the finance sector, the Wall Street, which is the most popular name in this area or this area of work, it's a financial capital of the world. There are enormous internship opportunities everywhere. When it comes to technology, we are number 2, and we are the second largest tech hub after Silicon Valley in California. We talk about AI, talk about cloud computing, startups, they're all here. They're all hiring. Media is not behind. Netflix, HBO, many other streaming platforms produce their content here. If you're in communications or in film, theater, this is your playground. Life sciences, another cutting edge biotech and pharmaceutical research hub that is New York. If you talk about fashion, I think my favorite event is the New York Fashion Week, but the major brand and design studios are actually here in the New York state. Sorry. Talk about diplomacy. The UN headquarters is in New York. And if you're studying international relations, if you're interested in public affairs, you can literally watch global politics happening here right in front of you. And also, interestingly, New York contributes to 8% of the entire US GDP. That is about $1.9 trillion, with a huge job market here for the international and domestic students. Aliza, could you please move to the next one? Thank you. All right. So, cost of living has always been a discussion for most of us out here, talking at different levels because we are in different locations. But let's be honest about money, the question that everybody wants to know, right? So, New York can be expensive, but let me just break it down for you. So, housing in NYC, for example, that ranges from $2,500 to $5,000 per month. And my colleagues can correct me from that space. But here's the key: location matters enormously in New York State. The state is so diverse, so different in terms of living costs, in terms of traveling costs. So, for example, Manhattan is expensive, but Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, they're more affordable. Buffalo, Albany, Rochester, upstate, they're much cheaper, right? So many students live with roommates and pay about $800 to $1,500 per month in these areas. So it can be really different in different spaces in New York State. The basic expenses like food, utilities, transport, about 1,700 monthly is what we tell our students to prepare for. But there's a huge trip. Public transportation can actually save you about $10,000 a year compared to owning a car in the state. Subway, buses, they go everywhere, run 24 by 7. So, with the student with a Metro card, that's the usual way universities provide this help to the students. It's very, very affordable. Let's talk a little bit about the job markets. I know that this is something that doesn't directly apply to the international students because with it for OPTs and CPTs, that's a different program altogether. But just to understand the context, they're $58,000 to $81,000 are the starting salaries in many fields in the state. The tech, the finance, they may probably pay even more. Plus, as an international student, as I said, you can opt for an OPT. And New York companies are experienced enough with these kind of programs for the students. The investment is real, but so are the returns. So the connections you make, the internships you get, the global network you build, it's worth every dollar you invest in this state. Aliza, could we meet in the next slide? Thank you. Let's talk about some fun facts. Like before we wrap up, let's talk about some amazing buildings, some amazing places that you can really go to. So, the most prestigious, the Empire State Building, that's 1,454 feet tall building. It was built in just 410 days. When? Back in 1931. Can you believe it? So that's really faster than most construction today. The Statue of Liberty, I think everybody knows about it. It was a gift from France in 1886 with a seven-pointed crown representing seven continents and seven seas. And that indicates and depicts universal freedom. The Finger Lakes, those are 11 beautiful lakes. These are glacier lakes, creating a premier wine region. So people really have and enjoy their weekends here most of the times. And as a student, you can also have a great weekend trip here. Niagara Falls, that's where Buffalo is. We have three massive waterfalls on US-Canada border. Absolutely breathtaking. I know there have been debates that Canadian side is more beautiful, but what we have in US, on the US side, it's also very, very beautiful. And it's just a few hours away. So that's about it. I think I've spoken a lot about the US culture and the other opportunities. I'll now pass it on to my colleague Benjamin right here. Over to you, Benjamin.
Thank you very much. So you got a great introduction into what life is like in New York State. So now we'll move into what are those key industries and research strengths in New York State? And probably touched on this a little bit. And so, but New York is one of the most innovative states, not only in the United States, but in the entire world. I mean, there so much is happening. Not just, when people think about New York State, they automatically go to New York City, but there's so much that's happening around the entire state itself. So there's a diverse and very much high impact set of industries from as Polly mentioned, you've got Wall Street in New York City, media, healthcare, life sciences. Um, there's not only in the city of New York, but out on Long Island, in the Hudson Valley, in Western New York, upstate New York, in the Capital Region. So there are many different areas. I mean, a lot of advances are being made, of course, in finance, in media, in healthcare, and in startups, life sciences. And in farming, and so much is really in those areas, especially in today's society, is surrounding advanced manufacturing. Artificial intelligence, as we all know, is becoming the new frontier that is really starting to reshape the professional world. And New York State is very much on the forefront of advancing many different current industries based on this new area. So, again, with advanced manufacturing, and you have semiconductors, the amount of research that is happening in New York State is really opening up a lot of opportunities for advancements in research and society, as well as opening up opportunities for international students that are going to be coming to study in New York to have those opportunities to gain great experience outside of the classroom. So when you talk about the world-class research ecosystem, a good example of that is the State University of New York system, where you have over 64 college campuses that are producing $1.5 billion in annual research spending. You got other great leading institutions with the city system, such as Stony Brook, Buffalo, Albany, Oswego. Again, many different campuses involved in those research opportunities, which in turn means international students are going to have the chance to work alongside faculty members in these different research areas. You've got other great institutions at Columbia, NYU, Cornell, that are producing a lot of great research. So whether it's semiconductor innovation, energy storage and batteries, AI, many different institutions and through private companies are doing a lot of great research in many different areas. And this is just really a sampling of the different opportunities out there. No matter what industry you're looking to focus on, the contributions that New York State is making, whether it be in research or in finance, in medicine, whatever it is, the top companies, the top researchers, the top innovators are in New York State. So there's so many opportunities that are available to students for internships, for future employment opportunities in New York State, and that are not just that are affecting the area of New York State and as well, but the entire United States and the entire globe. So New York really is an epicenter for innovation, for growth, for development. And no matter what professional industry you're thinking of, the contributions that the state this makes to the U.S. economy, to the global economy, through research, through innovation, is bar none to any other region of the country, in my opinion. Next slide, please. I spoke about this at the beginning of my last slide, but this collaboration model is definitely something that is at the forefront of how New York State operates. Where you have this university plus industry plus government model. So you have these powerful ecosystems such as the public-private partnerships that drive innovation. You've got, the SUNY system plus IM collaboration and AI research. You've got the New York Star Fund, which funds 15 centers for advanced technology and linking universities and industries. You have state-led investment accelerators growth. The funding for semiconductors, AI, and quantum research. That's actually some New York Stony Brook University was actually just offered over $300 million to help advance quantum. Research or to advance quantum research. You have programs like New York Creates, Empire AI. You have real world examples, like I said, going into energy, life sciences, flexible electronics and advanced manufacturing. And the point of this slide is to talk about this opportunity where you're not just seeing private companies or organizations that are conducting these research. You're seeing, our top-notch research universities throughout New York State, whether it's a private, one of our public research universities or private research universities that is collaborating very closely with New York State to advance research in different industries to help make the world a better place, to advance technology, advance AI. And so there are many opportunities for students to get involved in faculty and research, both with private companies, with the universities they're working with. So maybe you're interested in AI, or maybe a student's interested in quantum research, or they're interested in biomedical science or research. There's many different opportunities through private and public government-based funding and research opportunities to work alongside to advance industries. And that's one thing that New York State is very well known for is innovation. And so no matter what the industry is, the opportunity to conduct research is extremely popular and well known in New York State. So there are many different opportunities, both locally, regionally, and statewide. Next slide, please. So then you move to the breakthrough innovations and alumni impact. So major breakthroughs from New York. Again, some of this is a little repetitive, but again, where we are, I really wanted to focus on this and on the AI and quantum computing initiatives that are shaping next generation technology, biomedical innovation and drug discovery pipelines, the semiconductor ecosystem. You have the Albany Nanotech, influencing global chip manufacturing. You have a strong alumni impact where you have places like Cornell, NYU, Columbia alumni that lead global firms, startups, and research labs that have a strong presence in Silicon Valley, global finance and consulting, academia, and research worldwide. Um, and then when you think about specifically with the alumni impact as it relates to students from India. You're seeing that these students are coming to the U.S., gaining this great academic and research and professional experience, and they're going back to their home countries, such as India, where you're seeing the Indian startups ecosystem grow in tech, fintech, AI, academic collaborations, and joint research between U.S. universities and Indian institutions, leadership roles in multinational companies that are operating in India. I mean, you're seeing places like in Delhi, in Hyderabad, and Bangalore. You're seeing a lot of U.S. companies that are put here there that are bringing new branch offices to India, and so you're seeing that influence from places like New York State and other regions of the United States of the U.S. that are having an impact in India itself and many other countries around the globe. So the influence and the impact of what's happening in New York State not only is impacting the city and the state itself, but also around the U.S. and around the world. So with that, I will turn it over to our next presenter to discuss the next piece of the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Supriya, and I'll be representing NYU's Tandon School of Engineering. I'm very glad to speak to you about New York State. My colleagues have already shared a lot of great information. So I would like to talk about how New York State offers a uniquely balanced environment that combines global exposure with regional diversity. While New York City plays a pivotal role as an international gateway, the state as a whole reflects a wide spectrum of communities, from highly urban centers to suburban and rural regions. The diversity is not just demographic, but also economic and cultural. It spans industries, institutions, and local ecosystems. A great reflection of diversity is the different food that's available in the state of New York and especially New York City, and the multiple languages that are spoken. As a result, students benefit from an environment that builds global awareness while also providing varied, grounded experiences across different settings. Can we move to the next slide, please? New York State's higher education landscape is both extensive and deeply integrated with industry. With over 250 institutions, including more than 100 private universities, the state offers significant depth in academic and research opportunities. Private institutions play a critical role in advancing research through specialized programs and strong faculty-led initiatives. What further strengthens this ecosystem is the level of collaboration between public and private sectors. One of the best examples for that is Empire AI, which is a consortium of universities from the state of New York coming together to advance the research in AI. This enables innovation and has a tangible statewide and also a global impact. In recent years, New York State has made notable advances across research, technology, and engineering. This includes leadership in semiconductor manufacturing, nanotechnology, and it's supported by public and private investments, as well as continued growth in AI, life sciences, and clean energy research. The state has also seen expansion of innovation hubs, engineering research centers, and startup incubators, many of which are directly linked to universities and funded through collaborative initiatives. These efforts are not only driving the economic development, but also positioning New York as a leader in next generation technologies. What this means for students is that it translates into access to funded research, interdisciplinary projects, real-world problem-solving opportunities, and it is supported by comprehensive academic, career, and international student services. So, next slide, please. The state of New York is rightly called the Empire State, and it's a state that's built for many different opportunities. New York State's economic scale and diversity create strong and measurable pathways from education to employment. The state supports nearly 10 million jobs statewide, placing it amongst the largest labor markets in the United States. Its economy is equally significant, with the gross trade product approaching 1.6 trillion, and it's ranking amongst the top 3 in the nation, contributing close to 8% of total US GDP. Business growth is really robust. New York is home to approximately 2.4 million small businesses, which make up over 99% of all businesses and employ nearly 4 million people across the state. In addition, the state continues to see strong momentum in job creation, with hundreds of thousands of job openings annually, reflecting sustained demand across sectors such as finance, technology, healthcare, and professional services. Anchored by New York City, a global hub for corporations and innovation, this ecosystem ensures that students have direct access to internships, industry networks, and employment pipelines. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Over to Pallavi now.
Thank you. Could you please put my slide on?
Pallavi, can you see the slide here?
I only see University Showcase.
Okay. Is this the one?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Yes, thank you very much. All right. So, as I told you, I'm the International Admissions Advisor based in India for University at Buffalo. Well, a little bit about University at Buffalo. We are located in Buffalo, New York, sharing our borders with Toronto, Canada, also very close to the Niagara Falls, the popular Niagara Falls, just 20 minutes away from one of our campuses. So we have 3 very beautiful campuses in the city of Buffalo, offering about 154 majors and minors combinations for undergraduate students and many more for the graduate students. We are ranked number 20 for hosting the international students at the campus, and we are the largest and most comprehensive university in the state of New York. You can see our rankings on the screen, but I am going to talk about some other important stuff for the students. We all talked about the Empire AI today. It's a state's project, which includes multiple universities in the state of New York. But guess where in October 2024, the Phase Alpha was launched. That was a university at Buffalo with the first stage of its high performance computing system at the University at Buffalo campus. At University of Buffalo, we offer wonderful scholarships to the students. So if you are planning to apply for the scholarships, the undergraduate students can expect up to $20,000 of scholarship, which covers approximately 70% cost of tuition. We also offer some honors classes for the students, which really enables them to compete in the high academic situation. Our admissions open in August. We take 2 rounds of applications. The early application ends on November 1st, starting from August 1st, and our regular round ends on February 1st. After that, we're open for the applications only if we have seats available. We offer campus housing. We offer amazing 450 clubs and organizations for the students, with overall some combined programs as well, where you can do your undergraduate and graduate studies in 5 years. So if you have any questions, you can get back to me on this panel and later when we have a Q&A, or my contact details are on the chat box, so you can copy them from there and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Jasmeet. I work as the student recruitment manager for Stony Brook University in South Asia, and I'm based out of India, Delhi. I would like to begin by explaining Stony Brook University in just 3 words: prestige, value, and location. So, SBU is a highly prestigious and highly ranked institution. In fact, we've been ranked among top 1% of the universities all across the globe, top 60 among all national universities within the United States, number one public university in the state of New York, as well as top 26 among all public universities in the entire US. And our prestige is not just on ranking websites. We've achieved a lot when it comes to research and innovation, so much so that 8 of our professors till date have been awarded with Nobel Prizes. And the most recent one was Professor Barry Barish, who was awarded his Nobel for his contribution in physics in 2017. In fact, he's still on campus. If you wish to pursue physics or related courses, there are high chances you might run into him if you are a student at Stony Brook University. Uh, we are also NCAA division for 18 different sports at Stony Brook University, with over 400 plus clubs and organizations that are active on campus. The campus life is very vibrant, with a diverse student population that is represented by students from across 111 countries. Our student to faculty ratio is 19:1. Every student gets the necessary amount of individual attention that they might need from their faculty members. Uh, can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah. We're just not the number one public university. We are also the largest public institution in the state of New York, covering about 5.88 square kilometers in the town of Stony Brook. We also have a hospital on campus, which is ranked among top 50 best hospitals in the US, and also a school of medicine. In addition to this, uh, our education, our course curriculum is highly valued by employers all across the globe, as well as within the United States. Uh, we have our international population is just about 3,800, which is roughly 15% of our total population. uh, when it comes to value, when it comes to pricing, our tuition fee is quite affordable, and we have generous scholarships. We have 2 scholarships. One is the merit based award, and the second scholarship is called the You Are Welcome Here award, for which you have to apply separately. In addition to this, I'd also like to talk about our location a little bit. We are just located 100 miles away from New York City, which is I mean, the commute is easy. In fact, Benjamin lives right in New York City and commutes to Stony Brook on a daily basis for work. There's a train station that is located on our campus, which is called Stony Brook University Station. It's part of the Long Island Railroad, and the commute time door to door is less than 2 hours one side. Well, thank you so much. That's about Stony Brook University. Our contact information is in the chat box as well as on the last page of the slide. Please feel free to get in touch with us. Thank you.
From the largest public university, let's move to America's largest private university, which is NYU. NYU has multiple different schools, and it is really renowned for a lot of its programs. But I represent NYU School of Engineering, which goes by Tandon School of Engineering. And our philosophy at NYU Tandon is that engineering makes everyday life and its challenges easy. which is why we believe that engineering cannot be siloed and it is becoming increasingly interdisciplinary. What this means for our students is that there are multiple opportunities to explore and learn hands-on in the field of research, or even explore with different areas. A lot of our graduate students also take up courses from different schools at NYU, provided their advisor signs off on it. We also offer merit-based scholarship. Our admission cycle is in fall and in spring. We also have PhD options available at our school. We do offer undergraduate programs to our students. And as I like to say it, the city is where, your classroom. You learn so much in the city of New York that it is, an intangible experience and a gain for most of our students. Can we move to the next slide, please? A classic example of what I was referring to as interdisciplinary is a VIP, or vertically integrated projects. These are multi-year, multidisciplinary projects that emphasize on innovative and research active education. It opens opportunities for students to develop professionally valuable skills while making real-world contributions and earning academic credit. There are sample projects that are led by the ECE faculty, which include 6G and processor design. And these teams span undergraduate and MS students, which is again a great opportunity for students to network and get to know each other very well. Can we move to the next slide? Thank you. Last but not the least, given the kind of interest that a lot of students, especially Indian students, are showing towards setting their own startups or networking in the United States of America and looking for starting companies maybe based on tech collaborations. We have a range of options available for these students, right from the Entrepreneurial Institute to Startup Journey and Innovation Venture Fund and Leslie eLab. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. My contact information is available. Please feel free to write in to me. I'll really be looking forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Supriya, Pallavi, Benjamin, and Jasmeet. I think that was such a wonderful session where you've given so much information on the state of New York. So we do have a few questions from our audience here, and I'm just going to take these up. So the first question is actually from okay, just give me a minute. Yeah. So we have a question from Ekjot. So he's asking about any of the universities. Can you help us in getting easy access to jobs that include AI or jobs like software engineering? So any one of you who would like to answer this question?
Alyssa, can I go ahead with it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Pallavi.
Right. I think one of the things that we need to understand for US education as a whole, and not just for Buffalo, is that we don't have the same placement system as we have in India. So it doesn't work the same way. I think it's a great question, and we should definitely acknowledge that you need to understand before you make a choice to study in the US. So the universities in US, and I'm talking on behalf of my friends out here, but you can add later on, I think we enable the student and we prepare the student well for the industries later on. So most of us have career services centers at our universities that would help them to understand the job market. And when it comes to job for international students, it is the OPD program specifically, which is 1 year for the non-STEM programs and can be extended for 2 more years for STEM degrees. Now, what universities do is academic side is, of course, one. We all are wonderful over there. We prepare our students academically well for the job markets later on in your language. But also the Career Services Center helps you to understand how it works in the US. For example, writing your resumes. how the American system works or preparing for the mock interviews. I'm talking about simpler things that are important for international students. Then going up to, doing the career fairs at the campus where the companies would come. You can talk to them, understand what's going on. A lot of us are giving access to students with some kind of portals like a handshake portal or a student portal like UB has Interstride where you can connect with the employers outside. Just a similar LinkedIn kind of setup, but a smaller setup. So I think we all need to understand that the placements are not like the companies would come and give you offer then and there. There are some technical challenges there as well in terms of visa and other category situations. But more than that, I think it's important to understand how well your university is preparing you for the later stages, especially the career services, the academic excellence, and the research opportunities. Maybe if you're interested in research, you can explore that area as well. So I just wanted to add that here. So if anybody wants to add, please go ahead now.
I think that really covers a lot of it. I think the big piece for international students is, that was already said, is just taking advantage of the resources available to you. Obviously the structure is different in India. In the US, a lot of students think, well, I can just wait until my last year or last semester to take advantage of the career services office. Don't do that. I mean, there you have access to all those resources from day one. So take advantage of it. Not just OPT, but CPT. Get in touch with those faculty members. I saw questions in here about interested in AI or software engineering. Reach out and be proactive, and not just on campus, but off campus as well. Whether you're in Buffalo, whether you're in New York, whether you're in Albany, go out there. All these cities are nearby areas are gonna have companies for you to reach out to. Go and network with them, because that's half the battle, is about who you know and getting out there and making those connections. Yes, your grades are going to be important. Your resume is important, but you have to get out there and go meet these individuals, whether it's a tech startup, whether it's Google or Amazon, or maybe you want to, pursue cybersecurity in the healthcare industry. You have to get, no matter what area you want to focus on, you have to get out there and actually make those connections. And so, given where New York City is, and given that we have many populous metropolitan areas, there's really a lot of opportunities for students to take advantage of that and build up those network connections. So once they hopefully find that internship and once they graduate, they're going to be ready to go with a job.
Thank you, Benjamin and Pallavi. I think, yeah, these are very important points that anybody who's interested in either pursuing higher education or maybe looking at other opportunities in the US should be mindful of. Jasmeet, Supriya, would you have anything else to add?
Yes, I'm glad this question has come up, and Benjamin genuinely covered the major point, which is to begin from day one. Please don't wait until your final semester. You have to begin from day one, or in fact, from the day you plan to go to the United States of America to study. Now, the reason why this is important is that you are already steps ahead of your competition, because when you start early, there's a huge probability that you're going to apply earlier, you're going to get to meet people, you're going to network with more people. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to be able to get all these opportunities that come your way. Of course, there are services, career services, student services, but you need to be equally proactive in pursuing those services, because it has to be a joint approach. The student has to be equally proactive, and then our expertise, if I were to speak from NYU Tandon's point of view, the career services at NYU Tandon will come together, and they will help you from day one to identify the right kind of places, to look for internships, to look for CPT, to connect with alumni that are working in your dream organizations. That's a great resource for most students to tap in. Use LinkedIn like you use Instagram. I love to say that. Use LinkedIn, get in touch with alumni, or get in touch with people who are holding those dream jobs. Ask them for their experience. Build genuine connections. It takes you really, really far.
Thanks, Supriya. I think, yeah, that's another very important thing to make use of the alumni networks that are there in the US. And these are really strong communities that you can make use of at at different points or different stages in your life. So yeah, thank you for that, Supriya. Jasmeet, would you like to add anything else here?
Sure, thank you so much. So I think most of it has already been covered by my colleagues here. But then I'd just like to add, if we don't ask for help, the answer is always no. So as Supriya just mentioned, please come out of your comfort zone. Approach the departments. There are career services department at all institutions. They'll help you with minute things like preparing a resume, which is acceptable in the North American format, even sometimes preparing you for job and internship interviews. So yeah, help is there. It's just that have to approach the appropriate department at the right time and ask for help at the right time.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very important. So the next question, thank you, Jasmeet. And the next question is from Shreya. So she's asking, with New York being such a competitive market, what specific components of an application like independent project portfolios or high GRE quantitative scores tend to stand out the most when elite New York universities are allocating merit scholarships and graduate assistantships? Yeah, please go ahead, Supriya.
Well, again, a wonderful question. Um, to be frank with all the students here, merit and passion is what is going to make your application stand out. What we are looking for is not the same thing. It's very easy for you to say, I'm passionate about something, but how do you translate that passion into action? So when a student says that I'm extremely passionate about, transit systems or transportation services, and I did an internship in my undergraduate program with, let's say, the Bangalore Metro, it makes a huge difference because you've actually made your passion actionable. You've, let's say you've done an independent research program based on a topic that really interests you. You have translated your passion into action. We are looking for students, or if I may speak on the behalf of US universities in general, students who are driven, who have like a sense of, what it is that they want to achieve, who have a clarity of thought, that is what really sets you apart, which is why we focus so much on statement of purpose. It is not just your quantitative scores. Of course, like it matters, but it is not all. There is a holistic way of looking at an application. So I would urge you to like start thinking about what it is that you wish to do so that you can like start mentioning that in your statement of purpose and you can start working towards your goal. It's not just about telling us, but you also get a clearer pathway of what it is that you would like to do.
Right. Thanks, Supriya. Anyone else would like to say anything here?
I would just jump in here, although the question is directed for the graduate programs, but at the undergraduate side also, I get a lot of questions on what kind of extracurricular or co-curricular activities do you look for. In general, they call it profile. So I think there is no set criteria that we have beyond academics. I mean, we do have a criteria on academics, but when we're deciding these scholarships, we're looking at a holistic view of the profile, as we call it in India. So it on the undergrad side specifically, I'm sure the grad side looks at it very differently. But on the undergrad side, if there are any undergraduate students here, I think it is important to note that you don't have to follow a trend or a very common extracurricular activity. The most popular in India is working in NGOs or MUNs. I mean, they're all great activities to do if you're passionate about it. Like Supriya said, passion has to align with what you're doing on the ground. So I think it's important to note that whatever you do, maybe you're doing just two activities beyond your classroom, just do it at depth. Don't look at the length. I would say just look at the depth and continue doing that. It's important to do it continuously. The continuity really is important for us when we read all the files. So I just wanted to add that on the undergrad side. Thank you.
Thanks, Pallavi. So our next question is from Ayan, who's asking that he's interested in contributing towards New Jersey Transit Public Services. Can you please advise any suitable path forward? I have 20 plus years of work experience with 6 years of US experience. So if any one of you has, if you have something to say. Okay, go ahead, Supriya.
Well, firstly, Ayan, many congratulations. You know exactly what it is that you want to do. And this is a very specific question. So, uh, for a path forward academically, I would suggest please invest your time in researching for a university and a program that's an ideal fit for your goal. Because we cannot talk one-on-one over here, and I can't get a deeper understanding of what your goals look like academically and what it is that you want to do professionally. My recommendation to you would be MS in Transportation Systems, offered by the Civil and Urban Engineering Department at NYU Tandon School of Engineering. Um, please take a look at all of these programs and try and align your goal with it. Now, again, I'm not sure if you're looking for a MS program or you're looking for a PhD program, but all of the information is available on our websites. You have our information. You can get in touch with either of us depending on, what kind of a university you want to go to and study at, which university aligns better with your goals and aspirations. We are always here to help and answer your questions. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Supriya. So we'll just take up one more question because this is specifically for you. So Vibor is asking if you can provide the contact information for the admissions officer for NYU Stern School of Business for undergrad students. Would you have that email ID at hand right now?
I think the best way to reach out to them is to reach out to the general, email that is provided on the website. They're very responsive, and that's the best way forward. And again, use LinkedIn, get in touch with people, connect with them. And, I understand we get a lot of emails on a regular basis. You may not hear from our personal accounts, but it's always worth a try. A lot of students who aspire to go to Tandon get in touch with me on LinkedIn, ask their questions, I get back to them. And yes, please utilize all the opportunities that are available in today's day and age to help you. And again, good luck with your application to NYU Stern.
Great, thanks, Supriya. Our next question is for Benjamin and Jasmeet because it's specifically for Stony Brook. So this is Yuki who's asking. They're looking for an integrated master's, PhD in public policy or international relations, and they'd like to know if you need to have courses on macroeconomics or calculus done before the admissions. And what would the job market look like for a person who's pursuing a program in public policy or international relations?
Jasmine, you want to take this since
Yep.
you handle the grad
Yep.
side?
Absolutely. Hi, we have a course in public policy. It's a really good course, and our students historically have been working with a lot of non-profit organizations as well as interning and working at the UN also. However, if I'm not wrong, I'm looking at the website right now. We don't really have a PhD program or a combined master's plus PhD program in this particular domain at this point in time. But I can quickly get in touch with you. As far as I know, we do not need calculus for this particular program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jasmeet. That clears it. The next question is from Sneha Sheesh, and okay, so the question is, I'm a class 12th ISE student with 94% in ICSE, National Abacus Champion, self-taught app developer, and a musician preparing for JEE Advanced. My family income is under $20,000 per year. What are my realistic chances and best pathways for US college admissions with full financial aid? So this is a general question. I think all of you can take turns to answer this. Pallavi, should we start with you?
Sure. I was about to unmute myself. Thank you. All right. So, when it comes to the full financial aid, unfortunately, UB doesn't provide that to international students because we only do merit-based scholarships for the undergraduate students. I think I think your team has already responded to get in touch with Education USA. Um, unless my other colleagues provide the full funding, full ride, I think Education USA would be the best source. But congratulations, you have done really, really well.
Right. Okay. So, here, thanks, Pallavi. What I would suggest is you can drop us an email. We do have a list of private foundations that we can share with you. Of course, you can check the eligibility criteria for all of those and see which ones you're eligible for. But yes, I think that's about it. In case anyone else would like to chime in, Supriya, Jasmeet, or just Supriya's handling the grad part, right? So we
Yeah.
probably just yeah, Jasmeet, if
S-
you can go.
Yep. So at SBU, you definitely have an opportunity for a higher scholarship, but not a full ride, to be honest.
Okay.
We offer two scholarships for international undergrad. So there's this merit-based award, which is automatic. Every student is considered on the basis of their previous academic merit. But there's this other scholarship that you can specifically apply for. So the process is you complete your application before the 1st of November, within the early action deadline, and submit the application for the You Are Welcome Here award before February 1st. Uh, this this basically, I mean, the process is that you record a video of yourself speaking about a topic that is predefined on our website. The topic last year in fall of 2025 was leadership. So, how do you how good are you with your leadership skills? How do you manage and manage your leadership skills at your high school, and how will you bring this to SBU if you are selected? This was the topic for this year, and I'm happy to tell you that 5 students in India were awarded the scholarship for fall of 2025. So the award is competitive, but it gives you 50% of tuition waiver, and it is stackable with the merit-based award as well. So not a full ride, but it'll definitely, if you get through this, it'll definitely reduce your cost of tuition by a huge amount.
Right. That's very helpful. Thanks, Jasmeet. We'll take the next question, which is okay, due to the geopolitical situation, is it best to wait at this point and take up traveling to US after a year or two? What's the advice?
I'd say from my side, the U.S. politics is never going to be stable. It's always going to be fluctuating. So, both at the U.S. scale and the global scale. So, and especially with a high demand country like India, where, regardless of geopolitical climate, visa wait times are extremely long. I would say you need to really figure out what you want. At the end of the day, what's your trajectory? What are you looking to accomplish academically, and what are you looking to accomplish professionally, and what's going to be your timeline for that? I wouldn't let the geopolitical climate dictate that. Obviously, you want to be observant of it and pay attention to what's going on. Obviously, a good example of what's happening between the United States and Iran right now is really causing a lot of instability on the global scale. But the U.S. And India still have very strong relations, and so regardless of who's in the White House or what the current administration is, I would say just don't let that dictate your particular decision. Don't make it cause you to wait unless you just want to. But especially with India, no matter when you decide to come, do your research, get everything done early, submit your applications early, whether you're applying to a undergraduate or graduate degree, have everything ready to go. Just because India is, it's the top sending country of international students to the United States, so it's high demand market, and with the current visa interview policies and regulations, it is a lengthy process. So the earlier the better.
Thanks, Benjamin. Would anyone else like to say anything? Yes, Pallavi, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Benjamin. I think you spoke greatly about the visa timelines. And that's the biggest problem we're facing in India at the moment for the students. But I would bifurcate this in two parts. One is the policy part, and the other is the admission cycle part. So on the policy front, at least I'm not aware of any policy changes for the students at the moment. Yes, there are visa interview delays. That's because of the other issues. So I don't think, other than this social media vetting, anything has changed for student visa process in the past 1 and 2 years. Everything we hear is in process. Everything we hear is in the air for the moment. I think we need to wait and watch on the policy side, if that is what you're referring to. In terms of admission cycle, my colleague just mentioned something very important, and I don't think you need to defer the plans. You need to plan it differently, I would say. So US admission cycles open 1 year ahead of the actual class readiness. So I think what international students really need to do now is to plan ahead, to really be ready with their university choices. If I talk about the undergrad, maybe somewhere in year 11 of your school, high school, when you're ready with, ready to go in year 12, that's when you should at least have a fair idea of the universities you would be applying to. That makes it easier and smoother as a process for you and for us. Once you're in your grade 11, somewhere in August 1st to be precise, the applications would open. For some of the schools like University of California, the admission cycle would be different. But for most of us, other than UCs, would start on August 1st. So the early round ends on November 1st. The regular round ends on February 1st. You need to plan it in a way that you should have your I-20s earlier in January, February, or maximum March. That's how I am seeing the trend changing right now. And we've experienced this with our students. And I would just like to share that if you have an early kind of decision making in your own thoughts, you have the I-20s ready by April maximum, you will be absolutely fine with the visa process. The visa interview appointments dries up. We all know that right now it is drying up. And I think as we move further, it'll dry up further. So it's just basic to just shift the cycle a little bit more. A better planning, a better decision making is what is required in the new situation, is what I would say.
Thanks, Pallavi. Okay, I think that was very helpful, Benjamin and Pallavi. We'll just take in the last set of questions. There are actually three questions here that we have from Kashfi. So the first one is you've already, I think, answered that, Pallavi, which is about what percentage of admit offers didn't get the F1 visa this past admission cycle for each one of the three universities. So again, this is around visas. And the second one is which fields are seeing an upcycle of research funding, which also translates into UG hiring. And AI is getting funding, but it is not translating into hiring due to recent overcapacity. So would anyone have any insights here? Anything that you'd like to say? Yes, Supriya, go ahead.
Well, hi, Kashvi, and again, very, very specific questions. I'm glad you asked about research and funding opportunities. Well, the state of New York heavily is very generous in investing in research. In fact, in a lot of fields like semiconductor, nanotechnology, quantum, AI, we are I would say, take the liberty of saying that we are at the forefront of a lot of research that's happening in these fields. But my question to you is, do not let that dictate what it is that you want to do. What I always advise, I'm assuming that you're a UG student, and although I generally recruit grad students, I advise all my students to do a tiny exercise. So you make a list of your interests, you make a list of your skills that you currently have, and then you make a list of the skills that you think is going to, be in demand. And then you draw and connect the dots between these skills. Try and identify a school or an institution and a program that aligns with these goals that you have. We often think that, we'll go to the school, we'll get these opportunities, and this will translate into this. You have to reverse engineer it. You start with your goal, and then you see the path that you want to take it over there. Since you're very clear that you want to be in the field of research, this is a great opportunity for you to look at what are the different researches that is happening in the state of New York. Where is the government, the state government of New York investing money? Where do they think that, there are like multiple job opportunities or even research opportunities, whether you want to work in industry, whether you want to be a researcher, whether you want to be in any specific field in engineering or tech or science or maths. These are all of the different things that you will have to sit down and make a list of. So the questions are great. Unfortunately, there is no straight answer to the question. It is a path that you have to find and fine tune it on a regular basis. I hope it helps.
Thanks, Supriya. Okay, so we do have two questions. We'll quickly take them up, and then we'll wrap up the session. So this one is, should I pursue BTech from IIT India first and then apply for a master's in the US, or directly apply for undergraduate admissions to US universities? Which path is better for financial aid, career prospects, and overall opportunity?
I think it's an undergraduate question, so I can jump in here.
Sure.
Well, I think it all depends on your planning. IIT is a great institution, and we're very proud of that in India. So it really depends on your planning. Of course, budget is a very important factor here. So if you think that undergraduate and graduate program in the US is going to be very expensive, then this is the best plan for you, actually. And if you are already clear with IIT, JEE, mains, or advanced, I mean, that is fantastic. So it really depends on what you want. But I can tell you something that really undergraduate students think before coming to the US. They want to experience the college, the culture, the education, and the other opportunities that we all spoke about. I don't want to, sound like a repetitive person here, but we've all talked about huge opportunities in the US. It is also very much important to note how ready are you to really leave your home and come to a country where you don't probably know anyone. And are you ready for that challenge? Some students are not. And we openly advise them to take a pause, think about it, and then decide. Because really, for any international student coming from especially the Asian side, it's a lot in the beginning. So if you think the aspect of your personal thinking, if you're not ready for it, maybe you can take a pause. From your academic point of view or the academic planning point of view, I think if you are looking at the budget, then maybe going for IIT and coming for masters is another wonderful plan. So it's really up to you.
Right. Thanks, Pallavi. Benjamin, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, I think Pallavi really covered the crux of it. It's just really planning. It's your personal situation. It's not one size fits all.
Right.
If you're wanting to study in the U.S., that's great, but I mean, you have to think about the financial piece, the affordability piece. Every institution is different as far as the amount of aid they might offer. And so all that has to go into play. And what is your plan? Is your plan to stay in the U.S. to work? Is your plan to go back to India? What's going to be that structure? So there are many great universities in India. There are many great universities in the United States. So I think it's just assessing your personal situation, looking at your financial situation and where do you want to end up? A lot of students say, well, if I want to go to the U.S. and that's where I want to stay. Some students want to come to the U.S. and go back home. So it is, and it's a different culture, especially depending on where in the U.S. you go. From someone that was just in India in April where it was extremely hot, not everyone can handle that heat. And New York State does get all four seasons. And if you're going to Buffalo, get ready for extreme cold in the winter. And if you're coming to New York City, get ready for all four seasons. Throughout the year. And so, I mean, while that's a minor piece of your decision making, it is a piece. And so, you really have to make that overall assessment of what your plan is. And I mean, given, going back to the piece about the geopolitical climate, that's a factor right now. We're seeing a lot of issues with inflation. We're seeing issues with, oil price increases. So a lot of that's really affecting. Now that's all temporary, and the economy always fluctuates. But given the exchange rate between the rupee and the U.S. dollar, that's also a big factor as well. So you really have to think all about the holistic piece, not just the academic background, but is that something really is it something you can afford? and what's, and how is that really going to affect your situation moving forward from there. But that's why Education USA is such a great resource, because they can really sit down and talk with you about those different facets. And that's going to be the same for undergraduate or graduate students.
Right. Those are really important points, Benjamin and Pallavi, that you've mentioned. So the last question that we're going to take, and it's actually related again to undergraduate studies. So the parent is asking the question that her son is really passionate about playing basketball. He's played at the state and national levels as well. So she's asking if will this be of any advantage for her son's admissions.
I mean, it will add a well-rounded nature to their application. It's not necessarily going to be a defining factor, but it should, I'll use Stony Brook as an example. When we're looking at applications, we're looking for those diverse students. We're going to see how can they contribute to the Stony Brook community. So, what leadership skills do they have? So if he's played at that high of a level in India, that might show that not only does he have strong athletic ability, but maybe he has leadership skills that can be applicable to the Stony Brook community. If he's looking to pursue college athletics, he's definitely on the right track at that level. Division I and II college athletics in the U.S. do offer athletic scholarships, so that's an additional way to get funding. But so I will say, just from a pure admission standpoint, it's going to be a contributing factor. It may not be the defining factor, but it could play a positive part in their overall holistic review of their application.
Right. Thanks a lot, Benjamin. If just in the closing remarks, if all three of you can answer this last question that is asking about, so the student is asking, could each of the three universities here give a sense of the visa rejection risk, even with an admit offer that they've seen recently? So have you come across any students, applicants who've had visa rejections recently at your universities? So, I mean, I'm guessing she's asking about what are the things to avoid, probably.
Okay. So I think,
Not
I mean,
to,
if I understand the
yeah,
question correctly, it is about
I think what she means
the
is that what are the things probably you should be careful about when you are planning your interviews,
visa
visa interviews, yeah,
applications.
applications.
All
That's
right.
what I think she
I think the biggest mistake students do is the misrepresentation of data. Sitting in India, I know that a lot of students ask me this question: if my brother, sister, relatives are in the US, is it a risk factor? Well, no, not really. That I can say confidently. I'm not a visa expert here, but I know the basics. And I think the best information you can get is on the US Embassy website. There were some information sessions that were done in the past, and I think some recorded videos should be there. And Elisa, you can confirm that. But I would say refrain from the different sources, like Telegram, YouTube. There's a lot of information there which I think is not correct. Just stick to the basics, and it's a very, very simple interview. Honestly, just 2 to 3 minutes of interview. How much can you really prepare? And I'm personally very much against preparing for the interviews, like script and writing and then practicing. I don't think that works in my experience.
Right. Thanks, Pallavi. Okay, so I would like to just add one thing here. Yeah. So if you are going for your visa interviews, one thing that now you should probably be mindful of is keep your social media transparent. Your accounts on maybe if Instagram, Facebook. So try and keep that transparent. And of course, we've Pallavi also, she just mentioned that we've done lots of sessions with visa officers in the past. So you can check our YouTube channel. It's called Education USA India. There you'll find those sessions related to these visa sessions where a lot of students have asked questions similar to yours. You may be able to find answers. Yeah, and feel free to reach out to the US Embassy, look out for their updates, follow them on the social media channels. They do post information regarding visa slots and visa preparation. So you can just look around for that as well. Yes, so I think we have answered and covered all of the questions. So thank you so much, Pallavi, Benjamin, Supriya, and Jasmeet for joining in for today's session. It was a really insightful session. I'm sure the audiences, because they had so many questions, so I'm assuming they really enjoyed the session. And yeah, and thank you, Shrishti, for helping with the session today. So this is me, Aliza, signing off. And very, very good evening to all of you. Have a great evening and take care. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you, Benjamin, Supriya, and Pallavi. Bye.